Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders Yugioh channel. I know it's been a while guys, but I'm super excited to be back. I've been gone for quite a while, but lately I've received a ton of messages from a bunch of different people. Shout out to Flygon Cave, longtime subscriber. I see you. And really appreciate your support and the support of everybody else who's been watching my videos over the years. I decided the perfect way to come back from a long hiatus, guys, was to bring you the newest update to my Elemental Hero Neo-Spatian deck profile. That's right, guys. It's been such a long time since I've done a profile on this deck. And lately, after getting back into the game, I've been painstakingly testing it and going back over all of the combos. And, I'm just really pleased with where the deck is at this point and how it's doing the things that I want it to do. Now, this deck is not a competitive version of Elemental Hero. So if you're looking for a competitive Elemental Hero Neo-Spatian deck, feel free to look elsewhere. What this deck is a callback and a love letter to all of Jaden's original Elemental Hero fusion monsters, and that's going to be what populates this entire extra deck. So I hope you guys are ready for this profile, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys. Now, this would not be an Elemental Hero deck without 2 copies of Elemental Hero Neos. You can choose to run 3 if you'd like, but I think 2 works perfectly fine for everything you need to do. Sometimes you're doing too many combo plays, but it is what it is. So we're going to keep it with 2 Elemental Hero Neos. And now, of course, we've got each of the Neo-Spatian monsters. So we have 1 Neo-Spatian Dark Panther, 1 Grand Mole, 1 Aqua Dolphin, 1 Flare Scarab, 1 Air Hummingbird, and finally, to round out our monsters, Glow Moss. Now, these guys are a lot more useful than you might initially think, particularly Aqua Neos, Air Hummingbird, or Aqua Dolphin, Air Hummingbird, and Grand Mole. Grand Mole for the bounce effect. Aqua Dolphin rips out a card from your opponent's hand, which can include a hand trap. And finally, Air Hummingbird can give you life points and time, which is great. Even Glow Moss is useful as a chump blocker, because even though your opponent gets to draw a card, if Glow Moss makes it to the battle phase, you're pretty much not surviving until the next turn. So that's that. The next cards we are running a small hero package. We've got 1 each of Elemental Hero Stratos, Elemental Hero Prisma, Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, and Elemental Hero Blazeman. Now, this is the ratio of these guys that I've been running for years, and I just think it's the best ratio of cards to be running in this profile. Each of them does something completely different that helps your strategy. Stratos for its search ability. Prisma can become any Elemental Hero or Neo-Spatian that you need it. Shadow Mist for its search ability and for getting back your discards. And of course, Blazeman for grabbing you Polymerization or sending your Shadow Mist or other Elemental Heroes to graveyard. Now, we've got, moving on right here, we've got, of course, 2 copies of Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos. Now, this card is absolutely fantastic because of its 2-pronged ability, one of which searches you any card that mentions Elemental Hero as a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and can also grab you Polymerization, which is an oft-forgotten effect. In addition, it can shuffle itself back to the deck to grab you an Elemental Hero Neos straight to your board. Now, this card is awesome for a variety of reasons, but the main thing that I love it for is that it shuffles back into the deck. So you could actually get away with running 1 of this, summon it out using your EN Engage Neospace, return it to, do your search, return it to summon your Neos, and then search it out of your deck with an e-call and have it in your hand for next turn, because it can serve as a nice chump blocker that can protect your life points in a pinch, which really just makes it an awesome card. Now, we are running 3 copies of Crosskeeper. I've been split between 2 or 3 of this, but this is just such a great card. Discard this from your hand to your grave, special summon an elemental hero or Neospatian from your hand or grave. If it comes from your hand, its effect is not negated, but if it comes from your grave, its effect is. It's just a perfect way to get more use out of your Neos and spent Neospatians in grave, but also to grab out a Spirit of Neos. If it's stuck in your hand, you can just search this out of your deck and grab it out, and that just makes it a fantastic card to be able to have. Now, moving on to some of our other cool cards in the deck. Of course, we are running 1 copy of Yugioh, a classic card, and 1 copy of Neos Wise Man. Now, you might be asking why I'm running these cards. Well, I finally got my hands on an elemental hero, Neos Kluger. It is one of my favorite cards to go into in this deck, and I think it's the best first turn play that this deck can make, because when you have it on the field, usually you'll summon it off of a Neos fusion. It'll sit there, it'll be impervious from destruction once, and then it will also, when it's destroyed, special summon your Neos Wise Man, who's unaffected by card effects, and if he's indestructible by card effects, and then if he battles, even if he goes to the graveyard, his effect will still trigger, allowing you to inflict damage to your opponent equal to his attack and gain life points equal to the opponent's monster's defense points. And so I've just ended games using the Neos Kluger and Wise Man play by itself. Not only that, but you can use different cards in the deck to grab Yugioh out. And I've actually hard summoned Wise Man using Neos and Prisma, which is just an absolutely crazy thing to happen. And so Wise Man can actually come out and do a ton of damage to your opponent, which just makes it a fantastic card. Now, this is a little tech card. You can choose to take this out. You can replace it with whatever you want. This is Armed Dragon level 10. Now, you use him for Armed Neos, who we'll get into a little bit later. But this is just a super, super cool card to be able to run. Some people do run the Armed Dragon Thunder, but I'm doing the Armed Dragon level 10 for a little bit of flavor. That's going to be it for our monsters. Now moving on to our spell cards. Wouldn't be a Neos deck without 3 copies of Neos Fusion. Now, a lot of people have run 2. You can also choose to run 2 if you'd like, but I really like 3 in this deck simply because it's just very easy to draw into this. And we run, unlike other decks, we run a ton of 2 material fusion monsters, and your entire original Neos core serves as kind of like a toolbox for you. And so you can toolbox, drawing into Neos Fusion, toolboxes whatever of Jaden's original 6 elemental hero, Neospatian, Neos Fusions that you need for that particular occasion. So you need an Aqua Neos for a hand dump, you need a Dark Neos for an effect negation, or you need a Grand Mole for a bounce. No matter what it is, having 3 Neos Fusions in here ensures that you're always going to see one exactly when you need it. Now, moving on next is 3 Engage Neospace. I have gone between 3 and 1 on this card, the most out of anything in the deck. But this is just super good because it allows you to send an elemental hero and a Neospatian, 1 each from your hand and deck, to the graveyard as cost. And that's super important because if this gets ashed, at the very least, you have a Foolish Burial for your heroes into the graveyard, which is fantastic. And then if the effect actually goes off, you special summon a elemental hero that's level 5 or higher, or a Neospatian monster, and then search Polymerization. So this card just does a metric ton to improve your strategies in this deck. And this can also grab you your poly from your graveyard as well. So that's an extra benefit that it has, and it just, you always will try to search this off of your Spirit of Neos because of just how strong of an opening play that it is. The next card in here is basically one from my old elemental hero deck. That is Fusion Deployment. I know lots of people are taking this out. I love this card because this card is instantly any Neos or any Neospacians and can even grab you Yubel out of your deck. So it's just such a cool card, and really could not recommend it more. Now, of course, with this deck, we must have polymerization. Now, up from 1, I have 2 polys in here because polymerization just does so much in this deck, and you'll see some of the fusion monsters that we can go into using this card. But being able to search this out of the deck very reliably using Blazeman, using Spirit of Neos, using your EN Engage Neospace, just makes this an incredible card to have, and you always want to have a copy either in your deck or whatever. And the unfortunate thing about EN Engage is that if you have poly, if you run only 1 of poly and you have that in your hand, you can't activate the card because the search of poly is a requirement. So I added in an extra poly in this deck to kind of, assuage those fears in a way. Now, moving on, our next card is 2 copies of E-Call. This is pretty self-explanatory, just grabs our heroes out. And then we're going to have 2 copies of Miracle Contact. I just picked up this Platinum Secret Rare, which is super, super awesome. This card is just great because any of your 3 material Neospacian or Elemental Hero Fusion monsters are easily obtainable with this, and you're sending a lot of stuff to your graveyard all of the time. It's very easy to get your stuff into your graveyard, and so this card serves the purpose of not only shuffling back the stuff that you need to have in your deck for future plays, but it also gives you a free triple contact fusion for your trouble. So it just is fantastic, and you can search the stuff you need, put it in your graveyard, and have this card available to get it back. Now, we've got 2 copies of Instant Contact. This card, I can't say enough good about it. It is just unbelievable with how much advantage it can generate you. When you have a Neos in your hand or grave, you can summon pretty much any of your level 7 or lower Elemental Hero Fusion monsters from your extra deck. And, it's just such a powerful card. And I can show you guys some cool combos that I have with it coming up very, very soon. And then the final crazy 2 we have in here, down from 3 in my testing, is EN Shuffle. Basically, this replaces any Elemental Hero with a Neospacian and vice versa, and can also banish itself from the grave to shuffle back any Elemental Hero plus a Neospacian or just Elemental Hero Neos to allow you to draw 1 card. This card is just so versatile and basically says, oh, you have like a random, Neospacian or something in your hand, plus you have this. This allows you to go grab your Spirit of Neos, search out your EN Engage Neospace, and completely start your plays. So it's just unbelievable and how strong it is. And our final 2 in this deck is 2 copies of Favorite Hero. Now, you guys might be asking why I still have this in here, and it's because of this, the 1 copy of Neospace. Now, Favorite Hero and Neospace is my favorite combo from my old pre-Power of the Elements Elemental Hero Neospacian deck list. And the reason I love this so much is because this play just steals games. Favorite Hero can equip to any level 5 or higher hero. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fusion. And then when you activate it, it gets Neospace directly out of your deck. So that means that any of your original 6 fusions and double contact fusions in your original 3 triple contact fusions will not shuffle back to the extra deck if you don't want them to. It'll also make them all like 5,000 attack power. And when you have that and you combine it together with like Flare Neos or something like that, you can get them up to massive attack power and steal games. And nothing is better than taking a game from someone using one of Jaden's original fusion monsters. And now, finally, for our spells, we've got 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. This is in here as kind of like the 3rd E-Call, but it also searches you your Crosskeeper and searches you even your Aqua Dolphin. So it has uses that your E-Call doesn't necessarily have, so I like it in here at 1. And the final card in this deck is a little tech choice that nobody runs, and that's Overfusion. Overfusion is just a fantastic card because what it does is you can take any Elemental Hero, Neospacian, or level 10 monster and send it to the graveyard and have the name of any monster that you or your opponent controls have that name. So this card, if you top deck this, it's just incredible because it gets you like Neospatians, it can get you a search off of, like, it can get you a Neos to your graveyard, it can even get you a search off of Shadow Mist in a pinch. And so this card is just very, very useful. I wouldn't recommend it any more than one, but I love running one in this deck, and it's come up in a number of occasions and has its own uses in this deck. And the final card we've gotten here is the Single Trap, and that is Favorite Contact. Now, this card, I just can't say enough about it, but, you know, searching ability, shuffling back, like when things get banished by your opponent, you know, if your opponent's playing like Bestials and they banish your stuff, this card can get it all back into your deck. And has the extra ability of protecting your Neos fusions that are shuffled back using that effect. And so I can't say enough great things about this card, and these three guys here, you know, kind of make the setting of the deck. And so that's going to do it, guys, for our main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck, I'm going to show you what I am playing in here. Now, starting off first is our Elemental Hero Flame Wingman Infernal Rage. Now this card is just so awesome because when it comes to the field, it searches you instantly any one of your favorite cards. So that means your favorite hero or your favorite contact. Turn one, I search for favorite contact so that I can set up a play, you know, a disruption play against my opponent for their turn. And then turn two, I can search favorite hero to allow me to go for OTKs. Now, the great thing is that if you use a normal monster such as Elemental Hero Neos to special summon this card, because it just requires two heroes with a different attribute, you can actually tag this card out into any one of your level 7 or lower fusion monsters. And that is just an awesome, awesome play to be able to make, where you search on second turn, you search your favorite hero, grab any of the 6 you need, and then you've already got OTK on board, pretty much, using just like 3 cards in the deck. So it's absolutely insane. Now, we've got our Brave Neos. This is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go into detail with this. And now, we have 2 plays that I think are going to be shocking to a lot of people. And that is 1 copy of Neospatian Marine Dolphin and 1 copy of Marine Neos. Now, these guys have been putting in work for me in this deck. They are unbelievable. So you can get your Marine Dolphin basically off of your instant contact. And what makes him great is he's an extra Neospatian that you can grab anytime you want. You don't need to draw it or send it or do anything else. He's a free Neospatian from the extra deck that does whatever you need him to do. And he's got the same effect of Aqua Dolphin, which means that, you know, I don't know if you can ash his ability to come out from the extra deck. You can activate his effect, discard the card, rip the ash out of your opponent's hand, and then you can use him to go into Elemental Hero Marine Neos, who's basically a free pop of anything in your opponent's hand. And so usually on first turn, what I'll do is I'll summon this guy, rip 1 card, and then summon this guy and rip another. And your opponent's pretty much starting with 4 cards in their hand. So this is just such a cool play that you can make. And it's even better if you can get this on the field. Aqua Neos for your extra discards. And so now I'm going to go into, of course, guys, the original 6. So we have Elemental Hero Aqua Neos, Elemental Hero Air Neos, Elemental Hero Flare Neos, Elemental Hero Grand Neos, Elemental Hero Glow Neos, and finally Elemental Hero Dark Neos. Now, I'm probably one of the only people who run all 6 of these guys, but I promise you, each and every one of them comes up multiple times in duels when you're playing this deck, and I could not imagine playing with like anything else than that. You know, I was playing, you know, Aqua Neos for its discard. Air Neos and Flare Neos are sufficient with enough back row and stuff to end games by themselves when they get up very, very high. Grand Neos, of course, for his bounce. Glow Neos, I think, is a huge MVP that a lot of people don't consider. A lot of decks these days have face-up spells. If you pop a face-up spell, basically you get a free direct attack And when you have your favorite hero and your Neo space on the board, that's 5,000 points of damage right away. And nobody can really stop that. It's like, it doesn't matter if your opponent's stuff is higher attack or it's unaffected by card effects. This card steals games. And then finally, the effect negation of Dark Neos comes in clutch. Negate anything you're on your opponent's board to not want to send it back to your extra deck, or like something you don't want to send back to their hand or to their extra deck with Grand Mole. But also, he's great as a first turn play because he can negate himself and turn on to be a chump blocker, so he doesn't shuffle back to the extra deck. But all 6 of these guys are just so useful, and this deck is designed to be able to bring them out efficiently, effectively, and have them win you games. Like, there's going to be times where your optimal play is to bring out one of the 6 original Neos fusions. Now, moving on to our triple contact guys. We've got 1 copy of Storm Neos, 1 Nebula Neos, 1 Magma Neos, and finally, brand new in this extra deck is a single copy of Chaos Neos. Now, you might be asking yourself, like, why run the Chaos Neos? Now, all 4 of these have their effects. This is a heavy storm. Nebula Neos needs no explanation. Magma Neos gains crazy attack, but Chaos Neos is kind of crazy because he has a coin flip effect. But the key to Chaos Neos, guys, is a little something called Favorite Contact. You see, when Favorite Contact is used to special summon Chaos Neos, even if you lose the coin toss, your Chaos Neos would not shuffle back to your extra deck because of Favorite Contact's condition and clause, meaning that you can sit there and flip the coin to your heart's content. And the number of times that this has come up where this has just done a non-target blanket negate of every monster my opponent controls, and then me being able to summon a Flare Neos or Air Neos or something like that and then wipe the board, is too crazy to count. And so once I figured out that I could use Chaos Neos effectively was when I was like, oh my God, we figured this out. And then of course the final card to make 15 here is Elemental Hero Neos Kluger. This guy I've already explained earlier, but he's just a fantastic choice for when you need, a specialty blocker. Now, for other cards that you can bring in and out of this deck, I'll show you these. We've got, of course, your Armed Neos for your Dark Armed or your Armed Dragon play. Very easy to bring this card out, but I noticed that when I was playing it, I was too often going into this card because it's just, kind of the optimal play to make. And so running the original heroes to me was kind of the way to go. But if you want to run it, feel free, because it is the best of the fusion monsters in my opinion. Of course, we've got 1 copy of Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, 1 copy of the Great Cosmo Neos, and finally a singular copy of Elemental Hero Neos Knight. And that is going to do it for our Elemental Hero Neos deck profile. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, or at least learned something from it. And if you did, feel free to give us a like on the video and to subscribe. I've got more awesome content and lots of decks and stuff coming up very, very soon. And yeah, this has been the Mermaid Master, guys, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.